Well, Pizza Hut's back in the news again, and per usual, it's not for anything good. Now, normally people don't really care about stories like this, but if you're anything like me, this one might actually strike a nerve because it brings back the memories, nostalgia of a restaurant that actually used to be pretty cool, but ain't anymore. Now, I'm sure a lot of you really don't give a crap about my backstory. However, I feel that this adds to the story, so I'm going to share it with you. Growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, so big stuff like fancy shoes just wasn't a thing for me. No trips, no extra random spending. If I really wanted something, maybe I'd get lucky and Santa would put it under the Christmas tree around the Christmas holidays. But other than that, we didn't get a lot. But every once in a while, for a special occasion, maybe we got some good grades on our report card, we would be taken out to a movie and possibly a dinner at Pizza Hut. Now, a lot of people might scoff at that, but you got to remember, Western Pennsylvania and Eastern Ohio, we don't have all those fancy high-end pizza restaurants like a lot of the larger cities do. So don't judge me. Now, when you went to Pizza Hut, you didn't rush it. You went inside, you sat down, you ordered, you spent some time with your family, and you ate your pizza. Not like today where it's just in and out, fast-paced, and everybody wants to do their own thing. But there's specific things that I remember about Pizza Hut. The big booths, the plastic cups, the red plastic cups, the low lighting, the smell that you can never quite describe, but the second you walked into a Pizza Hut, you knew you were in a Pizza Hut. And for me, it was always the same order, the personal pan pizza. I always got the mushrooms and the pepperoni. Now, if you never had an old school Pizza Hut pan pizza, let me tell you something. That thing came out hot, like actually hot. Like if you touched the damn thing, you ended up with third-degree burns, skin graft level hot. Still sizzling in that little cast iron pan that could burn your fingertips right off. Maybe that's why they don't sell them like that anymore. But that was part of the magic when it came to the Pizza Hut because you couldn't actually touch the pizza when it came out. You had to sit there and stare at it for a little bit. And I think that's what made it special. The wait, it was like Christmas morning. You couldn't wait to tear into that damn thing. And when you went to a Pizza Hut, it wasn't like it was just pizza was pizza or food was food. It was like a reward. And for a long time, that memory just lived in my head, untouched. One of those things you remember with a smile on your face. Well, that wasn't too last year. Because last year, I went back and I took my kids, thinking it was going to be something special. I wanted them to share in my memories. And I'm not trying to blow this out of proportion or anything. Excuse my French. It's fucking disgusting. Not, oh, it's different. Not maybe the taste has changed a little bit. I mean, flat out, this is some shitty ass bad pizza. Greasy in the wrong kind of way. Bland and overpriced. And halfway through eating it, I remember thinking to myself, what the hell is happening here? And that's where the sadness kind of kicks in because now you have this weird feeling that the thing that you've been holding on to for years when it comes to a memory and a special place, it didn't exist anymore. And then that's when the question hits you, was Pizza Hut really better back then or were we just younger, broke, and happy to be somewhere else other than the house that felt like a big deal? And honestly, I think maybe both. But nostalgia only works when there's still something underneath it. And Pizza Hut doesn't really have that anymore. Which is why this news isn't surprising at all. Pizza Hut is closing around 250 locations across the United States. That's roughly 3% of their stores. And it's happening because sales keep dropping. Not one bad year, but multiple quarters. And it's a slow bleed. In other words, people aren't going there anymore. And if you really think about it, why would we? Why would people go back to Pizza Hut? The old Pizza Hut experience, it's gone. Those big dine-in restaurants, they've all been turned into Mexican restaurants, law offices, phone stores, places that actually fit the world we live in a little bit better now. What's left is usually a small takeout spot, higher prices, and pizza that doesn't even come close to justifying what we're paying for it. And well, that's where the bigger story starts. Because this isn't just about pizza. This is what happens when corporate executives get involved with brands people used to love. They don't sit around talking about memories. They look at charts and margins and shareholders and growth curves. And when the numbers stop growing, they don't ask, why did people love this in the first place? They ask, where can we cut? So quality drops, the experience disappears, the identity of the store or the restaurant gets blurry and then eventually just buried. At one point, Pizza Hut even tried dropping the word pizza and calling itself The Hut. That wasn't bold, that wasn't creative, that was just fucking stupid. That was confusion, just plain ass dumb. Like we were all gonna say, well, they dropped pizza from Pizza Hut. I bet their shitty pizza is way better now. If your brand doesn't even know what it's about anymore, how is anybody else, like your customer, supposed to know what your brand is supposed to be? Now, Pizza Hut is owned by Yum! Brands, the same company behind Taco Bell and KFC. And when a brand like Pizza Hut stops performing, it stops being a cultural thing and starts becoming an asset on a spreadsheet. Something to trim, something to sell, something to quietly let fade away. And this is where the people usually screw this conversation up. People start arguing about which pizza chain has the best pizza. That's not what this is about. Let's be honest, most chain pizza isn't great. It's not even good. Domino's isn't great pizza. Little Caesars definitely isn't great pizza. Yet, they're both doing better than Pizza Hut. So clearly, taste alone isn't the reason Pizza Hut is falling apart. When you look at the numbers, it starts to make sense. Domino's does around $9 billion a year in US sales. Pizza Hut is closer to 5 or 6 billion, which is still a lot of money. Little Caesars is lower than both, but still stable and not shutting down hundreds of stores like Pizza Hut is. Pizza Hut used to be on top. Back in the 80s and the 90s, they were the pizza place. Families went there. You didn't just grab pizza, you went out for pizza. And that advantage, the one advantage that Pizza Hut had over all of the other pizza shops, is now completely gone. Domino's figured out something really simple. People want predictable food, predictable prices, predictable delivery times. Not great pizza, predictable pizza. It's a sad truth. And Little Caesars did something even easier. Cheap, fast, no waiting, no pretending it's anything else but cardboard pizza that tastes okay. That said, I can see some cracks forming underneath the Little Caesars Pizza Foundation as well. We'll talk about that in an upcoming video. But Pizza Hut doesn't do either of those things that we just talked about. It's not cheap enough to compete with Little Caesars. It's not fast or tech focused enough to compete with Domino's. And it doesn't have the dining experience anymore to justify the higher prices. So it's stuck in the middle. And the middle is the worst place to be. Add corporate ownership to that and, well, you get the picture. When sales start slipping, the conversation changes from how do we make this better to how do we stop the fucking bleeding? That's when you see the store closures. That's when you see quality drops. That's when weird rebrands happen. You can't out pizza the Hut. Dropping the word pizza didn't fix anything. It just made it clear that they didn't know what they were anymore. So how could Pizza Hut actually fix this? Honestly, they'd have to pick a direction and just commit to it. Bring back a real reason for me to visit your store. Maybe have it being a sit-down restaurant again. But they won't. Or you can do the easier few suggestions that I'm going to give you right now, Pizza Hut. If you're going to be a value brand, then make it valuable and convenient. And stop pretending that it's fucking premium. It's not. What they can't do is keep charging more for worse pizza and expect people to come back because of memories from 25 years ago. That's not how people work, and that's not how I work. People don't hate Pizza Hut. They're just done being disappointed by it. And that's why the closures aren't surprising. They're just the end result of a slow decline that started a long time ago. And that's really all this story is. Not outrage, not drama, well, maybe a little bit. Just a brand to stop giving people a reason to care and found out what happens when that finally catches up with them. I'm curious to know what you think about Pizza Hut. Were you somebody like me that used to enjoy going to the restaurant, sitting down with your family and ordering a blistering hot, face-scalding personal pan pizza? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Check out this video right here. We're back with more rant videos soon.